Can you talk a little bit about what is the partner program, at least in its initial offering? We actually don't know where this is going to go, right? Because we're kind of developing this for the first time. We're sort of innovating this concept. What is it right now for people?
Yeah, so the partner program right now is kind of twofold, two main components. The first one is a partner hub, which is kind of an ecosystem of all the partners. They'll live in this hub that will be a new part of our website. You'll go on there as a buyer. You're looking for, occupancy. You need to buy something that will help you sort of meet that need of yours. You can click into occupancy, see the vendors there, which are our partners that meet the Nexus standard, that we've vetted. We've talked to those founders and those folks there and explore that technology further. So that's one kind of aspect of it, which is the partner hub. The second aspect is the content piece. And so that looks like Nexus will be creating content on a number of categories that include asset management, energy management, occupancy, all the different kind of components that make this whole ecosystem work. So we will be creating content on those, and that looks like once a quarter we'll have different pieces of content, long form, thoughtfully curated content on these different categories.
Yeah, so these partners are basically signing up to be a part of that ecosystem and make sure that some of this content gets produced and help us in doing that. It's innovative. Maybe you could talk about why it's innovative. Why is this concept new to content production, but also new to all the marketers out there that we're asking them to buy into this new concept, but they really haven't seen something like this before.
Right. Yeah. So as James and I were developing this whole concept, it was obviously a lot of challenges of trying to figure out, what has been currently happening in the industry and how can we take and build on that and make it better. And so I think one of the big reasons why it's so innovative is because this is vetted vendors. If you right now, come on and you want to be a partner of ours, we're going to vet you. So not just anyone can be a partner. And I think that as a first step is different than what's out there. Usually, if you pay, you can play. And that's how it works. And that's a first kind of distinction of what's different about us. The second one is that the content piece itself is super interesting, right? It's actually researched content. So it's not just salesy material. We're going to be doing the research ourselves. So if a vendor comes and tells us, I do these things super, super well, we're going to ask the hard questions. We're going to find out, do they actually do those things really well, right? And so I think those two things are creating an ecosystem for a buyer, like a building owner, that can come on and really feel like they are supported. They're getting these recommendations, they're seeing these partners, they're seeing this vendor hub, they're reading the content, they're not being sold to, we're there to support them. And so I think all of those pieces make it really interesting and not like anything I've seen done before in this industry or in really any other industry.
Totally. And so you come from a marketing background. You were chief marketing officer directly before this role. When you're thinking about selling this concept to other marketers, why do you feel like, I've heard you say this is a no-brainer before, like you would have bought this immediately in your old role. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a no-brainer, and we have designed it in a way where it feels that way for anyone, right down to what we're charging for it. So it's a affordable price for early stage startup all the way to a Series D company. Everyone can afford this. So that was an important thing. But the reason I think it's a no-brainer is because as marketers, usually the things that are available to us are very salesy types of content. So you'll read an article or you'll get an award that says you're the best building technology out there. And the way that company got that award is they paid for it. And I think it's just hard as a buyer, if I'm going to put myself in the building owner's shoes or in the sustainability leader's shoes, that stuff, I just glaze right over it. As soon as I see an article, the first sentence says, this company is the best at doing this thing. That's not true. There's no way you're the best at doing this thing, right? You might be the best at this particular use case. So it just kind of it gives me, I just glaze right over it as a buyer. And so what I think is really interesting about this way of seeing the world is we're giving you content that you can literally take and send to your sales team, and they can share it with customers, they can share it with prospective customers, because it's unbiased, it's well researched. They're going to actually learn something from this article that we're putting together versus just learning that you're the best and because you said you're the best, you know. So I think all those things, you know, it really creates a system or kind of an ecosystem where people are getting credible content, they're getting credible sources, they're seeing our partner hub. We're trying to really keep that integrity as part of our core value of this whole partner program, and I haven't seen that a lot in other places.